Hey everybody, welcome to the next tutorial video here on Duct Tape Creations. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to make a Duct Tape Tri-Fold wallet. This is actually a rebooted tutorial for me. I've already done one earlier in the channel's history, but I deleted that video recently because I was watching it back and it was not that great. I did not explain things too clearly, so I'm going to redo it here and hopefully it comes out better and hope you guys enjoy. I also want to apologize for the late upload of this video. I had to do some stuff earlier today, so yeah, I do apologize about that. But either way guys, hope you'll enjoy this tutorial, and let's get crafting. Alright, so you get to start working on your Duct Tape Tri-Fold wallet. You need to cut these 6 strips of tape right here that are 9 inches long, and you're going to start making a sheet of tape that is going to be 4 inches in width. So that 4 inches in width is optional. You can make it 3 instead of 4. You can make 3 inches in width instead of 4 is what I mean to say. So you can do that however you'd like, but I mentioned that. So now what you're going to do here is you're going to take your first strip, flip it over as I've done there, and take your next strip, and you're going to stick it down right on top of that, leaving a bit of stick side at the top. So this is optional, you don't have to do this, but I like doing it just because it makes it easy to add a little borderline. So you can see there's that bar stick side right at the top, which you can just take that and fold that over, which will make a really nice borderline right there. So just fold it over just like so, all the way down to the other side. So there we go. Now this one's not perfectly even because I'm kind of doing it a little bit fast for tutorial's time's sake, but if you take your time and get it even, it will look great. So there you can see there's a nice borderline. So if you don't want a borderline, like I said, this is optional. But if you want to round it off the edge, you can just do it yourself with a different color. But however you want to do it, that's fine. That's fine. So there's that. Now once you have those two stuck together, you're going to take your next one. So you're going to stick this on top. You're going to continue your sheet down, and you're going to overlap this by about 1/4 of an inch, which is not much. So right like that there. It's pretty simple. Flip it over once again. Take your next strip and cover up the sticky side you just added. Which, let me line that up here real quick. And cover up the rest of the sticky side like so. Pretty simple. So now right here, those 4 strips get just to be barely underneath 4 inches, which is 3 3/4 inches is where it gets it to, just those 4 strips. So now you can leave it there if you'd want to, but I personally prefer going up to 4 inches, even though it takes 2 more full strips, even though it's just for that little bit of 1/4 of an inch, but that's what I prefer to do anyway. But if you're going to take it up to 4 inches, you can just take out the next strip here, which is your 5th strip, and take it to 4 inches, and seal it down right there. And once again, just take the last strip and cover up all the sticky side that you have showing. So right like that there. So that's how you make your sheet. And like I said, you can make it 3 inches in width or 3 3/4 inches in width. If you don't want to use those other 2 strips, that's your choice. But once you have this done, you're going to make an exact duplicate of this sheet, so you have 2 in total. And once you have both those done, we can move on to sealing the bottom and the sides. So finish making your sheets, and then we can move on. Alright, so once you finish making your 2 sheets here for your tri-fold wallet, we can move on to sealing up the sides and the bottom of the 2 sheets, which is pretty simple to do. All you're going to need to do is cut one strip of tape here that's 4 inches long, and you're going to cut that in half, so you get this one little strip right here that's 1 inch in width and 4 inches long. You're going to have 2 of those in total, which are for these sides. So pretty simple there. And if you made the width of your sheets 3 inches, just cut these out to 3 inches instead of 4. So keep that in mind. You also need to cut out this strip right here that is 9 inches long, which is going to be for the bottom. So once you have those cut out, you're going to take your 9-inch strip right here, and make sure that your sheets are aligned before you do this. Once you have your sheets aligned, take your 9-inch strip here, put half of it onto your sheet, just like so, and half of the strips you're working on, flip it over, make sure your sheets are still aligned, and then peel over the rest to the other side, and seal it down just like that, which seals up the bottom of the start of your billfold, as you can see there. So now there is a way you can make this one full sheet if you want to, but you're going to need, I think it's roughly around 10 strips of tape to make the full sheet of tape that's 8 inches tall. So that's what you need to just make one full sheet, which will get rid of the sticky side here in the center. Which this is an easier way of doing it, just make 2 separate sheets and sealing them together at the bottom. And if you don't want the sticky side here, you can just put a strip of tape that's also 9 inches long and stick it right here to cover up the sticky side, which is also simple enough. But either way, I'm just going to do it this way, which is simple. So now once you have the bottom sealed up, you're going to take one of your little 4-inch strips right here, put half of it on the one side, just like so, and seal it down, and peel it over to the other side, just like this. So there we go. Pretty easy. And if you have a little bit of excess at the bottom, you can just trim it off with some scissors, or your X-Acto knife or hobby knife, whichever you prefer. Alright, so now do the same thing on the other side right here. Just take your little strip, seal it down just like so, flip it over, and seal it down on the other side. Really simple. Alright, so once you have this all sealed up now, and you have your billfold ready to go, we can fold this, which I'll show you how to do now. Alright guys, I have a little cut there, I got a little bit tongue-tied, but we're going to continue on here, and we're going to move on to actually folding this bit right now. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take one side of your sheet here, or your billfold, and you're going to bring it in 3 inches, so it's going to be right there, which is about the middle of the sheets right there. And you're going to bring it over the other side and flip that right over there. So that's how you fold the tri-fold. It is really simple, and when you open it up, it just goes like so. Pretty cool. So now obviously you can see it's just going to pop open like that since it's fairly thick. But all you need to do to fix that is just leave it sitting under a few rolls of tapes or a really heavy book for a little while, and you'll be good to go. So that's pretty much how you fold your tri-fold wallet and how you seal everything together. So pretty awesome. So next I'll show you how you can do the card holders for this type of wallet. So yeah, let's move on to that. Alright, so before we get started talking about the card holders for the tri-fold wallet, there's one thing I mentioned, and that's before when we were making the sheets, I said you can make them 3 inches in width. So now I was mistaken on that. I learned that when I was making the card holders. It's been a while since I made a tri-fold wallet, so do excuse this mistake. But if you make it 3 inches in width, the sheet, the card holders will not fit inside when you make the card holder because if you see here, right here, it takes up the entire space right here of 4 inches. So if it's 3 inches, it will just get cut off and it wouldn't work. So keep that in mind. I do apologize for that mistake. I'll probably put an annotation at that point when I first mentioned it, so you guys don't accidentally start making the sheet 3 inches in width and just get to this point I mentioned this and you wind up having your entire thing made that's 3 inches and it won't work for card holders. So yeah, once again, do apologize for that mistake, but hope you guys can pass over that and just enjoy the tutorial. But either way, let's start talking about the card holders now that I mentioned that. The card holders are pretty simple to make here. You can use 2 types, either the standard card holder, which I used to demonstrate why it wouldn't fit if it was 3 inches long, or your vertical card holder here, which is a little bit different. Obviously you can see instead of going in on its side or on the top, it would go in standing up, so it would just go in like that. So there's 2 different types of card holders. Now these are both pretty simple to make. I'm not going to go into that on this tutorial. I have an annotation on the screen right now linking to both videos of how to make these separate card holders. So I have one tutorial linked for the standard and one tutorial linked for the vertical. So you can go check those out, and I believe both of them include the ID holder if I remember correctly. So go check those out and you can just include those into your wallet, whichever one you choose. I will now show you how to put them into your wallet once you have them made. So once you have them made, you can put them in your wallet. For the standard card holders, you'd pretty much do the same thing you would if you're making a bifold wallet, which for a bifold you place them in like this from top to bottom. But for a trifold wallet, it won't work like that because the fold goes right here, which would be over top of the card holder. You need to do it the other way, go from top to bottom long ways and seal it down inside there just like this. So instead of putting the card in this way, which would be on a bifold, you put it on its side right next to one of the folds, which is pretty simple. And keep it a decent distance away from the fold so it doesn't interfere with it, which I didn't do that here. I just did demonstrate here, but so make sure you keep it away from the fold so it doesn't interfere. But then once you have the first one on, you can just do it again and all the way down, which is also really simple. So you can just keep putting it down until you have no more space. Also really simple. So now for the vertical card holder, it's a little bit easier. You just need to put this right here, like so at the top, and seal it down like so. Peel over some of this stuff onto the other sides, and right there is your vertical card holder, and the card will just slip right in there like so. So really nice. And you just pull it right out. So now you do have some of these fold over lines right here. So now you can get rid of those with pretty easily. Now Duct Tape Stuff uploaded a really good tutorial on how to get rid of fold over lines just recently. I'm not going to go too depth into that right now, but go check out his tutorial. I'll link it in. I'll put an annotation on the screen right now, along with the other links to these tutorials on the card holders. So you can go check that out if you want to know how to get rid of the fold over lines. That method he did on a bifold, but it should work on a trifold either way. So go check that out. It's a really good tutorial, and I suggest you do it if you want to not have fold over lines on your wallets. But there's that. That's how you put the card holders in your wallet. And like I said, I have linked in annotations to both the tutorials for both of these card holders, and I think they both include the ID holders, but if they don't, let me know and I will make a tutorial for the ID holders separately for the standard and vertical, but I believe they both have the IDs. If not, let me know. But that's definitely going to be it for this tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed. I think it turned out better than the first trifold wallet tutorial I did a long time ago, but either way, that's going to wrap this up for sure. Thanks for watching. And yeah, if you did enjoy, please leave a like. I should have mentioned that before, but the likes help me out a bunch. I really appreciate it. But yeah, that's going to wrap things up here. Faux show. Thanks for watching, and as always, just enjoy one of those duct tape.